You're listening to the Blissful Hiker podcast. I'm Allison Young, the solo, female, middle-aged, titanium-reinforced, long-distance backpacker blissful hiker, sharing stories to empower you to learn to hike your own hike, too. If you enjoy these podcasts, please consider supporting them through Patreon. There's a link in the show notes or at blissfulhiker.com. This week, I'd been noticing itchy bites on my body. Mosquitoes? Too early. Gnats? Not a trace. Oh no, they're in my gear. The tent isn't wet, but it's cold. No frost, just that I've had quite enough of this kind of cold. I sit up and scratch my shoulder. I feel several large welts all the way down my arm, all the way down my back, and they're on the other side, too. What's this? These are not bugs from the outside. These are bugs from the inside. Someone has been hitching a ride. I haven't really looked much at my face out here, but I can feel them, bites up and down my left side. They're swelling. They really hurt. It's bedbugs. I know it. I've had them twice. In Pakistan, maybe to be expected, and in a very nice hotel in Milwaukee. Bedbugs don't carry disease, but I do get an allergic reaction. They swell, they itch, and the bites are oozing. I gotta get out of here. I notice one other tent in the trees as I leave. It's funny how lonely this hike has been, because people pass or are behind and you never see them again. I hear from the Germans, Frauke and Dennis, on Instagram, and I love that we're connected, but nowhere near each other anymore. The trail winds around back and forth on long, seemingly pointless switchbacks, since the slope is so gradual. I laugh remembering the steepness of some of the climbs, like up Mount Lemmon or coming down a rock-filled road to Roosevelt Lake. This has been a hard trail and oftentimes unlovely. But here must be a bike trail with curves and twists to make a rather ordinary forest seem interesting. I sidle the mountain over a steep canyon and can hear the road below. Cliffs appear and recede and finally aim for my big fairy tale mountain. It's Humphrey's Peak, one of the San Francisco peaks, frosted with snow like a pointy cupcake. I look for a place to sit and enjoy the view, but the trail moves down quickly to a kind of saddle and I find myself again in ponderosa pine and blonde grass. I pass a red sandstone wall, colorful in this plain landscape, and I wonder if I'm done now with this whole thru-hiking thing. I came here partly to prove that I could still do it, physically, emotionally, mentally. I can. I even crushed miles, but I also crushed my spirit. I'm battered from the monotony and lack of views. But in some ways, I still appear to be balanced. I whistle, I sing, I laugh at things. I smile at the 2 day hikers who pass me, though they appear too busy for even a hello. Is that the harbinger of things to come? I turn left onto the urban trail, and I see huge, eroded rock walls in the more interesting Walnut Canyon. It's another time that I'll do the Walnut Canyon. I've got to get to Flagstaff right away. I got to get this bedbug issue under control first. What is there to tell? I walked, I arrived, and the scenery never changed. Until here I am, smack dab in front of twin bridges for Interstate 40. It's not really hot and there's a breeze, but the exhaust is choking. Suddenly I'm in a town. There's actually a Whole Foods, and I go in to get some food. And finally, after a week, I see my face. It's swollen and bumpy from bites. One of my eyes is swelling shut. At the self-serve, I smile at another shopper, who frowns and gets away as fast as he can. But another shopper sees that I'm carrying a backpack, and she offers me a ride. I guess I should have kept my mouth shut about the bedbugs, but I don't. And she ejects me from the car, telling me she can't take any risks. Good luck. Of course I understand, but I need help. So I post on the Arizona Trail private Facebook page to ask for some, just logistics to manage the situation. And the responses start coming in, one after another.
Come on.
First, people start to diagnose what I've
I really
got.
don't need this. I just need a change of
And then they
clothes.
offer websites about how I can clean and what I need to
I just need
do.
a ride to the laundry.
It just seems that nobody has the time, the interest, the energy. In fact, it's trail angels themselves who completely ignore me. Trail angels? This is not a happy moment. I mean, let me explain where I am. I'm walking to a man's apartment. It's a studio apartment. He doesn't have any way to wash anything, and I can't really hang out in his house and have the bedbugs come off and infect his house. So all I do here is I take my backpack off and leave everything outside and just go inside and borrow garbage bags so I can seal off my gear. I leave his house and I walk to a hotel, put every single item, including all of my clothes, in a washing machine as I wrap myself in a towel, and then I wash myself. It's not fun. To wash my backpack and my sleeping bag and all of my gear, I have to do it in an industrial-sized washing machine, which I have to walk to down a long urban road. And then after it's destroyed in the washing machine, I have to walk on a long urban road to a repair shop. I ask for rides from anyone, and people are just mean. But I guess I love to walk, so who needs a ride anyway? I walk to the doctor who says, "Yup, those are bedbug bites, and you're going to need to take all these medicines." So I go to the pharmacy to get some medicine. Actually, all it is that I need is someone to offer kindness, someone to give me grounding, someone to help me figure out how to get out of this setback. I know I'm a pariah, and I know I'm not cool. I'm middle-aged. I have bites all over my face. But it's unbearably lonely being here. There are people helping from afar, of course, Richard, Jean, Valerie, James, and many, many others cheering me on. But what does someone take from this experience? People can be selfish and utterly useless when you're really in trouble. Yet is that cause for cynicism? Or is that cause to choose more carefully who is allowed into your life? One of my friends is a forgiving but never a forgetting kind of guy. I do forget to tell this one story about a man I meet at the motel who's there the entire 3 days I'm there as well. He's the one that took the pictures of my back and my arms, my feet, my face and hands, all the bites, so I had a record. But when I asked him if I could put the sealed garbage bag with all of my gear that's been dried and washed in the back of his car so it will heat up in the Arizona sun, he says no. He goes on and on with an explanation to tell me he might put someone else in danger and he might have to cancel his trip. I realize he's a jerk, and I walk right past him when he tries to say hello. But there is another guy who helps. The trail angel I was telling you about who had the apartment, Gary. He can't really be that much help without a car, and his place is way too small for me to stay in, and I didn't want to put him in danger. He also doesn't have a laundry, but he has food. And as I pull everything together in this situation that's just left me bereft, he says, "I'll cook for you." And I let him.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
You can subscribe to Blissful Hiker wherever you get your podcasts. And you can leave a review on Apple and help the show get discovered. Blissful Hiker's on Patreon. You can support the show financially as a patron. There's a link in the show notes or at blissfulhiker.com. I know everything sounds absolutely crazy, but next week you're going to hear how it all worked out in the end. Remember how I asked for someone just to keep me grounded, just to tell me what to do next? Well, it was a friend of a friend who has a child here living in Flagstaff. He and his girlfriend met me and sat down and just went through the rest of the trail together. And when I said, "I want to keep going," he said, "You know what? For most people, being bitten all over their body and having to go to the doctor and having to take all kinds of drugs to fix it and clean everything themselves, they would have just gone home. But you're going on." That's the sign of a real hiker. Until next week, my friends, kia kaha and happy trails.